Hello everyone and welcome to our review for Pacific Rim. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Adam.
And so let's kind of get started off in this. Well, first of all, what is this story about? This story is about robots and aliens and monsters and
from the depths of water.
the sea, or the ocean, the abyss. Yeah, that's what it's about. So we have these people, and they are in like mechanical robot things, like not like
Mechs?
Transformers. They're mechs.
Yeah.
So
If you've seen anime, you know what they are.
yeah, you know mechs. If
No.
you know
Neon
anime.
Genesis Evangelion, Gundam,
Zoids.
uh, Infinite Stratus.
The list just goes on. But anyway, so yes, these people are in mechs because they've had these monsters.
The kaiju.
Yes, the kaiju. They're attacking civilization all around the world, and so people are like, hey, we have to fight back. Let's make these mechs called Jaegers. So, that's kind of what's going on in Pacific Rim.
Right, and the story of it takes place, what is it, like 15, 16? I'm not sure the exact amount of years. It's somewhere between like 15 to 20 years after this whole thing started. And one of the things I particularly liked about it was that they had so much to tell, but only being a 2-hour movie, you can't go into all of it.
Right.
And they kind of summed up all of that with just some like little lines like and things you can kind of actually see happening. The like humans getting real cocky and almost turning it into a sport about killing them because they started always winning, but then they started getting bigger monsters to come through the hole. Just little things like that I thought were really kind of cool to help sum up the gap. I would personally, I'd really like a book or maybe a video game or something to almost fill some of the gap in between.
Yeah.
I think would be kind of a cool thing.
I think it'd be a really cool thing, too. Come on, who doesn't love playing video games or reading books? I mean...
Because mech video games always work well.
Yeah. So anyway, what about those characters? There is quite a few well-known people in this movie, especially, the guy from Sons of Anarchy. I know you girls are squealing about it.
Charlie Hunnam.
Yes.
And what were your thoughts on Charlie Hunnam?
I thought he did an amazing job. He's a really great actor. I think he played his role very well. Definitely with the emotional struggles that his character had to go through. I thought, he did a very great job in his role.
I agree. I thought he was really well cast for it. Yeah, he's a good actor, but I think his particular kind of persona that he brings to a show is what they needed for the main character. I don't know if I would particularly go out of my way and say he's like a great actor, as much as he was perfectly fit and he's a good actor and he's got the attractive things for the ladies.
Make all the girls go, ah!
And he is shirtless a number of times in the movie. That's for the ladies and other people who are interested in that.
Yes.
Moving on from the main character, his romantic interest was Rinka Kikuchi.
Yes. She just didn't bring what I wanted her to bring. I don't know, there was a lot of awkward pauses going on in the movie with her character. Like she was like at one point staring at him across the hallway, because it's not creepy at all. She was staring and he like looked at her and there was like a 5-second thing of where she was just like, and then she's like, oh crap, he saw me, like now I'm gonna shut my door. Like,
I didn't particularly like her, but I suppose I didn't dislike her. She was just kind of in the middle for me. She was a character who has, as far as the character itself goes, who has a lot of difficulties in her life, and they go through with the movie. So if you haven't seen it, you can go see it, and you can see the difficulties she had, because she had some pretty brutal ones.
Yeah, she did.
But she was kind of raised by an American, so it's not like a cultural difference, as far as the awkwardness, because that way you can kind of understand it. If you're like, oh,
right.
Well, it's an American versus a Japanese kind of cultural collide, but that really shouldn't exist. Moving on from that, my personal favorite in the movie, and I know a lot of other people have expressed a lot of love for this character as well. Idris Elba, I thought, was amazing. All I need to say is Kristen Stewart needed to go to him on how to do an amazing pumped up speech before a battle, because his was the polar opposite of hers. His was amazing, and you're just like, let's fight some monsters. Hers was not so much. What are your thoughts on him? On the baddest bad dude in the movie?
I thought he was okay. Yep, I thought he was okay. He was. Whoa! I thought he was okay. I guess for me, it didn't do it for me. I guess. I mean, I'm not saying he didn't do an awesome speech or whatever. Obviously.
Well, it's not just the speech. Like his character and the way he was built. Like, he was the one basically holding the entire planet together, not just dying. Like, and he was just like, I don't need to be your friend. I'm gonna save the planet. Boom.
I'm
so
sure
cool.
he could teach Kristen Stewart a few things about a speech. But yeah, he kept it together. But I don't know. I didn't think his acting was like the best thing ever. It wasn't
the best thing
okay.
ever. But it was the best in the movie.
Nah.
You
I'll take
just don't have
the main character
great
over him, I guess.
character. Well, he's the stereotype. Alright, the next one I want to talk about is Ron Perlman. He's not in the movie a ton, but he's pretty hysterical when he is. He's obviously Hellboy. Just in a little bit, but his character itself was kind of a fun one, I'd say.
Yeah, I don't know. It was fun. It was a lot of fun with
Right.
him in there. Yeah. He's good. He's awesome. He's funny. He plays, his roles very well, obviously.
Right.
He's amazing. I was watching the movie, and I was like, oh my gosh, that scientist guy looks familiar. I've seen him somewhere. Charlie Day. What did you think of Charlie Day?
First off, I'm surprised you remembered his name. Round of applause. Second, I thought he was awesome. He and his co-partner, I can't remember the name of the actor, but the two scientists were kind of the C-3PO R2-D2 to the movie. They were the comedic relief, but they weren't useless. They were a big part of the movie and the plot itself.
Mm-hmm.
But they were very funny. They had really good chemistry.
They really did. I mean, and like he was saying, like they brought the comedic part to the movie, and they like you were saying, they work great together, good chemistry. And even though they brought the comedic relief, they did a great job at, acting serious when it needed to be serious
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. I mean, and that's just one of those things. When you're doing a great movie, you have to have that comedic within the seriousness of it all.
Alright, now moving on from the characters of the movie to the biggest strength of the movie, the directing.
Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo, my boy, one of the best directors in Hollywood, and he definitely did it pretty strong. I think the directing was awesome. The camera angles were really good. I really liked that. Obviously, it's a heavy CGI-driven movie, but the CGI looked pretty good.
Yeah,
in it. It looked pretty darn good. And I also like that they used a lot of practical effects to kind of blend in, because not a lot of movies do that. It's a flaw of a lot of these kind of because it's kind of a movie mixed between two genres, between the giant machine genre and the monster genre, both of which have a problem with too much CGI. And this one, they did it right. They actually built the insides of the mechs, and they built a lot of the stuff that they didn't have to not make, like the monsters and the outside of the mech.
They did it, yeah. Guillermo del Toro does a great job with his movies. I mean, it's not like other ones, like you're saying with the CGs, like have Green Lantern. But, I agree. Great directing. Even though a lot of people think he's this weird guy and he does a lot of weird things with his movies and stuff. But
the best kind of lovable weird stuff, like Pan's Labyrinth and Hellboy.
Yeah, I love Hellboy. But yes, Guillermo del Toro, even though he does his weird stuff and everything, he's definitely, I mean, he does a great job with balancing, like you're saying, the CG and the practical stuff, and not a lot of people do that. A lot of people are like, we're just gonna CG all of this stuff, like CG water and cars.
And another thing that I really liked is the mechs had kind of a mech feel. It wasn't like, because this movie was kind of built up by a lot of people, to like be like Godzilla vs Transformers. That's the line you heard a lot of, right? But it's neither of those. It's very different. Like the mechs in this are nothing like the Transformers CGI'd, like moving like humans mechs. They move.
Yeah, they move like mechs should move.
Right, and early on in the movie, like, so it basically sets the tone right away. Like, a huge thing goes through the shoulder of the mech, and you hear this, like, twisting metal and breaking stuff sound, and it clearly has a huge effect on them.
Mm-hmm. And let's just, like, the writing of this is, like, amazing. Like, the story plot of this, like, because sometimes when you watch a trailer, you're not sure what to expect, and this is definitely one of those where I was like, I think I have an idea, but, they always twist it.
Right.
Not like,
I think they did a good job of not spoiling it in the trailer, which is a huge thing, It's a big problem we have with movies nowadays, and almost everybody knows it. But
Man of Steel.
Yeah, the writing was solid. In fact, the writing between the characters was really intriguing. The writing and the acting both, I should say. And I really like how Guillermo kind of put everything together, being this is his baby, his passion project. And you can tell that there was a lot of passion put into this.
Definitely.
This wasn't just, hey, let's make a giant CG action movie for the summer.
Mm-hmm.
The characters' interactions I actually enjoyed probably more than the action scenes in the movie. Like, I cared about the people, even just moving in a little bit. I liked them more than I did the characters in Man of Steel.
Yep.
Like Man of Steel, you're just like sitting through, you're like, all right, let's move along. But this one, I'm just like early on, without spoiling anything, like you're just like, oh, man, really? Like, that
just
hurts.
happened? What?
I know, and you like barely even know these people, right?
I know, like even the characters that you don't even get to know at all, like you don't even get to hear them like really talk at all. But you see them, you're like, whoa, they look cool. Like, I like them. Or like,
it feels like you're in a world.
I know, exactly. And I also love that they made the mechs different. Like, I love how they had the marks and stuff, and they made them look different between the regions.
They look different. They fight different. Even like the pilots and some of the mechs, you really know nothing about them, but they look unique, like she was saying, and they have this personality without even saying anything. You're like, that's them, and I like them.
Yeah, definitely.
And they do nothing. They walk through one scene,
and you're like, whoa, I like you.
Right. And the whole thing feels like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the casting in general, I mentioned Charlie Hunnam being a really great pickup, and Idris Elba was great for his role, and a lot of them were really good. But even on just like the smaller scale with the little people, I suppose, the filler spots,
mm-hmm.
like they did a good job of making it feel like it was a global crisis. And you could see there were a lot of like Oriental people. There were, just from all over the world in this place trying to fight off the end of the world. And it really did a good job of making you feel like you were seeing all of this really happening, and not just being like how a lot of movies are, where they're like say an alien invasion movie. A lot of times they pick like one spot and they kind of stick there, and they're like, we're in America, and then this is what the Japanese did over in their area, and this is what the Russians are doing. This is like everybody's banding together, like, let's take them down. A lot of work put into it.
Definitely a lot of work.
You can see it, and it really pays off.
Yeah. So, I would recommend this for people who love Guillermo del Toro. And also, people who are into the whole mech movie stuff. Or, monsters, like huge monsters. Also, people who like sci-fi-ish things.
That's me.
And aliens. And a lot of other things.
Kind of, I guess, maybe. Yeah, I would recommend this to people who like action movies as well, because this is a good action movie, but it's the right kind of action movie. Like, it's I would say this movie is the epitome of what a summer blockbuster should be, and it's great to have one of these in a summer that's kind of fallen short to expectations for not just me or you, but for about everybody I've ever heard talk about the movies coming out this summer. It's good to have one that kind of remembers what it's supposed to be. This isn't like an Oscar movie, except for maybe visual effects. Mm-hmm. Battling with Man of Steel probably for that one, because those two movies both look really good.
Yeah.
But I really think that it's just great to see, because it's a character-driven story. There's the kaiju and there's the Jaegers and the big fighting and all that, but it's a character-driven story, and it never forgets that it's a character-driven story in the midst of combat. You always get the feel of what your characters are feeling. It's so great to see that. It's not, just, hey, let's have the characters be the characters, and then they get to the action, and it's all about the action. This one, you get the sense of what they're feeling, and some things like that, and it's exactly what you want from an action movie. It's not just mindless action.
Definitely, they created that great balance between certain, objectives and goals of the movie production crew and stuff. They did a great job with balancing everything together. I agree.
As far as dislikes in the movie, though, I have a few minor nitpicky things. I think some of the writing was a little bit weird. Where they were in the midst of a fight, and they're just a big giant fight. Both of them are taking damage, and then they're just like, "Oh, we have one more weapon. It's a sword."
Oh,
pulls it out, cuts him in half. Done. Why would you not start with that? Why would that not be your first go-to weapon?
surprise!
Come on. And the other one, I'll hold my hand in the air because this is kind of a spoiler for the end. But I will put my hand down when I'm done, and that means the spoilers are over. And that's just at the end of the movie. The whole thing is based around they can only get through the warp hole or the passageway if they have the kaiju DNA.
Mm-hmm.
So they grab the kaiju, they go through,
Mm-hmm.
they get to the other end.
Mm-hmm.
No kaiju anymore. He uses the self-destruct thing. He ports back up through the portal with no kaiju, and there's no problems with that. He goes all the way through the bottom. He loses the kaiju. He goes up without the kaiju, and he doesn't have a problem going through the hole.
Maybe there's
Doesn't make sense.
This is how long it'll stay open for until it closes back up.
I don't know. I'm not
That's
buying
what
it.
I'm gonna go with.
I'm not buying it.
I'm
I
gonna go
think
with
it's
that
lazy writing. Lazy writing. And we're back. Well, we're finishing.
If you haven't seen Pacific Rim,
Go see it.
go see it. 'Cause
It's my favorite movie of the summer. Take that, Star Trek. You didn't ruin it yourself in the last few minutes.
I like Star Trek.
I love Star Trek, but the last 5 minutes were crap.
Anyway, hope you guys have a great day. If you have comments, leave them in the comments section below. We want to hear from you guys. If you've seen it or want to see it or all that great jazz, leave a comment and perhaps like on the video. And
You don't have to. We're not pressuring you, but
No.
it would be nice.
we'd love it. We hope you guys have a great day and we'll see you next time.
Or the time after that if you don't make next time.
Next time.
Pause.
But-
Okay.
Buddy.
Sweet. We'll build our kaiju wall.
That didn't work in the movie.
The kaiju's looking to enter the city, but we'll try not to let him.